Godzilla and King Kong team up to save the world. After their clashes on land and sea across multiple countries in Godzilla vs. Kong, the two titans had to be separated. Godzilla, free to roam the surface world, and King Kong is the ruler of Hollow Earth. Hey, what's up, Splashers? Welcome back to Splash Talk. Let's dive right in. I was excited about the release of the movie since I saw the trailer on December 3rd. Seeing the two bigger-than-life kings of the Monsterverse work together was enough to make me go to the theaters early. My anticipation was at an all-time high. Did you all go see it already? Let me know in the comments. The Iwi people of Skull Island are all extinct except for Gia. She ends up being adopted by Dr. Andrews and she raises her as her own daughter. Her communication with Kong is impactful throughout the movie because every time Kong faces adversity, she is there to comfort him and provide him strength. Gia transitions from a lost girl to a young woman in this movie when they discover that not all the Iwi people were killed by the storm in Kong Skull Island. Strong electrical spikes are being felt all around the world, and the research team Monarch are trying to find out what is going on and what's causing this disturbance. They end up meeting up with Bernie, the conspiracy theorist that usually has a pretty good idea of what's going on when it comes to Godzilla and Kong, and you know, he's the same lovable self, acting crazy. He ends up going to Hollow Earth with them because they determine that Hollow Earth is where the signal is coming from. King Kong being in Hollow Earth, he discovers an area that he's never been to before, and he runs across this cute little ape named Zuko. But he's very mischievous, and he's like a bite-sized Kong. So when he runs across him, he thinks that the little guy is stuck out somewhere and needs help. But little does he know that he's actually trying to attack Kong, and he has multiple other apes there to try and jump Kong with him. So he ends up fighting these guys. He's using Zuko to slam all the guys around and just tear things up. Kong ends up making the rest of the apes run off, but he captures Zuko, where he has Zuko take him to the Scar King so he could find out what the heck is going on. Godzilla also feels the electrical signals, and he goes on a mission to find all the radioactive energy possible. So he's charging himself up. And what is he charging himself up for? That we don't know yet. We find out that in Hollow Earth, the Scar King is wreaking havoc, and he's a malicious, tyrannical ruler of apes who wants to take over the surface world. So everything he does it for evil purposes. He also has control over Shimo, the ice lizard. While the Monarch team is in Hollow Earth, they discover that the Iwi people are the ones who sent the signal for help and are discovered in Hollow Earth, which King of the Monsters alluded to the fact that there were going to be humans that lived in Hollow Earth, but Godzilla vs. Kong never showed us. But now we see. Gia and the Monarch research team find out from the surviving Iwi that she is the one who is to save everyone. And how is she to do this, you may ask? The answer is Mothra. Gia is the only person able to bring Mothra back in the Iwi temple, fulfilling a prophecy from long ago. Mothra is Godzilla's closest friend, and they're gonna need her to be able to help persuade Godzilla to join the fight to save the world. She is amazingly beautiful and majestic in this movie, and she has like this rainbow glow aura around her. I just love the way that they did Mothra, and it just fit in so well with the temple of the Iwi people. Moving forward, King Kong attempts to recruit Godzilla by going to the surface world to have him help in the fight against the Scar King. And Godzilla doesn't listen. He attacks Kong once again, so they start fighting in the pyramids, tearing things up, all of the normal things that you expect from these two major titans. But the unexpected surprise here is that Mothra arrives, and she convinces Godzilla to stop fighting Kong and to help with taking down the Scar King. This is where it gets exciting because Scar King isn't alone. He has control over Shimo, the ice lizard, plus he has this army of apes. So now we get the big showdown of titans. We have Godzilla, Kong, Scar King, Shimo, and this army of apes. What is gonna happen? Who's gonna win this fight? This fight scene is perfect because each one of the titans is matched up with a similar beast to themselves, because you have lizard on lizard, monkey on monkey. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, Kong has his hand frostbitten by Shimo earlier in the movie when he ends up running into Scar King. When Zuko took him to go find where he was, he gets into a fight with Scar King. He's winning the fight, but then Shimo blasts him with her ice blast and it destroys Kong's hand. So moving forward, Monarch team ends up having this bionic arm that is just badass that they had built for Kong, but they never gave it to him because the world didn't want a Titan as strong as Kong to have this bionic hand that's gonna make him 10 times stronger than what he is. Now, Kong has this bionic fist that's similar to a power glove that fits him perfectly. Also in the fight with Godzilla, he ended up pounding on Godzilla quite a bit before they ended up moving past it. Now that they're in the Hollow Earth, they're having this great showdown with Shimo and Scar King and Godzilla and Kong and going back and forth and everybody's fighting, and then you have all those other miscellaneous apes. But guess what? Mothra comes in and starts, getting rid of all the excess apes so that it could really just be a 2-on-2 battle. From here, they end up having this great battle going back and forth, and the scenes are just beautiful. And normally, I don't watch movies in 3D, but I ended up watching this one in 3D because it was one of the only showings that was available. This movie was so popular on the day that I went. I actually enjoyed it in 3D, and it made all the fight scenes even better and jump out to me. So it was a pretty cool twist to it versus how I normally do it. The fighting continues. Eventually, Godzilla and Kong were able to destroy the crystal that had mind control over Shimo and free her from Scar King's control. Once free, she freezes him, and Kong smashes his body into a million pieces. Kong is now the sole ruler of the Hollow Earth, and Shimo is by his side. They have an intimate moment of compassion where Kong shows her that he cares, unlike what she experiences with Scar King, who is abusive, vile, and does not care about any other life form but himself and being the biggest ruler. In my opinion, Kong is absolutely the best Titan possible with the way that he acts towards other animals. He's pretty forgiving. He gives other animals chances even when they try to attack him or kill him. He's just a great champion to have for the Hollow Earth, which is the land of the beast. And after they have their moment, Godzilla goes back to his domain on the surface, and because his home was previously destroyed in Godzilla vs. Kong, he now lives in Rome inside of a Colosseum. How is that not just epic? That Godzilla, one of the biggest titans, lives in a Roman Colosseum, and that's where he goes back to go to sleep. I would say this movie is a must-watch for all moviegoers. I would rate this movie an A. Only reason I don't give it an A+ is because Godzilla is only on the screen for 8 minutes and 43 seconds. But really, at this point, I'm just nitpicking. Because you don't even notice that he wasn't on the screen longer. His scenes were the exact right amount of screen time for him because this movie mostly focused on Kong and the events leading up to this big fight that they were gonna have. But I have a strong feeling that the next movie, part 2 of Godzilla x Kong, is gonna be more focused on Godzilla, and he'll have his time in his day. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Were you as surprised as I was when Mothra made her surprise appearance? How do you expect the story to continue from here? Because now Kong has his allies of Zuko, all of the apes, plus Shimo, and Godzilla still in the mix, and Godzilla has Mothra. So I'm loving the Titans' chances of succeeding against whatever monsters come their way in the next movie. Thanks Splashers for watching. Catch you on the next one. Watch some of my other reviews if you haven't checked them out already. Stay tuned.